Hey guys, welcome to Bipolar Boxing. Saturday night we got Ray Ford versus Otubek Kholmatov for the IBF World Championship at 126. It's the title that Lee Wood vacated, and I'm very excited for this fight. I will be at this card, and this is the main event for the card. Luis Alberto Lopez is on the card. I don't know why he's not the main event. He's a very exciting fighter. He's already a world title holder. He's fought big names. I don't know how he's not the main event, but this is definitely a more competitive matchup than that fight. So, to start off with Kholmatov, I don't know much about him. I've heard him. I've heard people talk about him. Like there's a kid, True School Sports on YouTube. Like he's been very high on Kholmatov, and he's been talking about Kholmatov maybe fighting Inoue and stuff like that, and saying that that would be a good fight. So he sees something in him, and I only know what I've seen in highlights. So his highlights look good. He's a pressure fighter. He's from Uzbekistan. He's a former national champion in Uzbekistan, and that's kind of like a boxing hotbed as of late. So if you can win national titles there, you're a pretty good fighter. And there's a reason why he's fighting for a world title with only 12 fights. So somebody sees something in him, and I kind of just defer to that. Like, it's hard for me to sit there and nitpick on this guy. If I have one nitpick that I've seen on his highlights, it might just be that he's a little sloppy with his punches. He's a little wide with his punches. And I only say that because it definitely works for who he's been fighting. I think his toughest opponent was that Thomas Patrick Ward guy, but I've seen that guy fight before. He's not that good. He's not a world level fighter. He's got a very good record, but he's not a world level fighter. Not like Magdaleno, the guy who Ray Ford just fought. But I just don't know enough about Kolmatov. He looks very good, but he hasn't been tested. And I'm not saying tested in a competitive fight. I'm saying tested. Give me somebody out there who's got a name and, maybe a former world title holder or something like I said, Ray Ford just did with Jesse Magdaleno. At least we have something to go off. It's very hard for me to tell a guy with only 12 fights. Yes, he's running through people, he's knocking them out, but I don't see a knockout coming in this fight. I don't see a knockdown happening in this fight. So my thing is like, how am I gonna pick? I've seen Ray Ford fight. I've seen him win decisions fairly wide, especially against pressure fighters like Kolmatov is. I have not seen Kolmatov fight a defensively sounded guy and outpoint him, which I think he's going to have to do to win this fight. So, just based off the fact that I don't know, my pick is going to be Ray Ford for this fight. I've been high on Ray Ford his whole career, and when I first saw him in 2020, I think he was only like 19, 20 years old, and I said, this guy's going to be a world champion within like 5 years. And here we are 4 years later, and he's fighting for a world title. And I think he's very good. He had that one slip up against Perez, which I remember I bet Ray Ford in that fight at 20 to 1 odds. And I actually scored the fight for Perez. I had Perez winning that thing 5 rounds to 3. I thought Ray Ford got a side decision, like we see, a lot here in boxing. It's just a thing. But Ray Ford lost that fight in my eyes. I'm just giving him the benefit of the doubt that he was only 21 years old when that fight happened, and I'm gonna say that the Ray Ford that beat Jesse Magdaleno is the one that's gonna show up tonight, and I do not see that guy losing 7 rounds in a decision because that's what we're talking about here. Like I said, I don't see a knockout happening here. So who's going to be the first one to 7 rounds? In my opinion, it's going to be Ray Ford. A lot of times in these boxer puncher matchups, I just tend to go with the better pure boxer, and that's Ray Ford. When you get up to this level, I just always go with the better pure boxer because I don't see a lot of knockouts happen in these world title fights at the top level. There's not a lot of knockouts that happen. So to me, who's the first guy that could get to 7 rounds? And that's Ray Ford for me. So But a lot of that's because I don't know much about Kholmatov. Like, Ray Ford is the underdog in this fight, which I found it hard to imagine just because if you want to say the fight's a 50-50 fight, that's fine. But usually Vegas you don't just put the odds at 50-50. You have to take into consideration, Vegas always takes into consideration who they think the money's going to come on. Because you can inflate the line based on who you think the money's going to come on. And you have to think more money's going to come in on Ray Ford because more people know who he is. So I don't know why the bookmakers wouldn't put this fight at like Ray Ford at 2-1 because a lot of money would come in on Ray Ford at 2-1, and then you can drop the line down a little bit just to get some people to because maybe some people bet on Kholmatov, but I just see Ray Ford winning this fight by decision, 8 rounds to 4, 7-5, maybe something like that. A lot of people are saying that Ray Ford might not get a fair shake here because this is a top ranked card. Kholmatov's a top ranked fighter. Ray Ford is not. Ray Ford's with Matchroom. Bob Arum and Eddie Hearn hate each other. So there's a lot of people talking that he might not get a fair shake here. I'm not going to take that into consideration. Judges corruption, I just don't take that into consideration. Who I think is going to win the fight on my scorecard is the way I look at it. I don't know. I don't take those things seriously, but it could happen. But this is just a weird fight, just because anytime I see an underdog, I do not bet many underdogs, and I'm betting Ray Ford here. But anytime I see somebody that I like as an underdog, I have to take a step back and be like, why the hell is the line like this? Why the hell is Kholmatov the favorite? Nobody's really seen him. But more times than not, I'm wrong in that situation. And there's something that they see that I don't, and they're right most of the time. But that's not going to stop me from betting Ray Ford here. I think Ray Ford is the best 126 pounder on the planet. I don't see anybody winning a decision from the guy, and I don't see him getting knocked out. I don't see anybody at 126 pounds that can outpoint Ray Ford. So that's my pick. Let me know who you guys think is going to win in the bottom, and also let me think who you think's they're going to fight next, if whoever the winner of this fight is. Because like I said, somebody said Inoue maybe coming up to 126. If he does, this is a hell of a fight. Either one of these guys. Kholmatov would probably be a more exciting fight, but Ray Ford versus Inoue, sign me up. Because I think Ray Ford's better than Stephen Fulton, and not that he put up a fight anyways against Inoue, but it would be that type of style. But yeah, give me Ray Ford in this fight. Like I said, decision, 8 rounds to 4. Have a good night.